The Nedbank 2014 Simply Biz Seminars. Get inspired by SA's top homegrown entrepreneurs. Find out how they tackled common business challenges and make growing your business happen.
There's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush and the ups and downs and the highs and lows of starting a hotel from scratch. It's incredibly pressurized, but I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, fortunately. I rely on that exhilaration that you get from all of those highs and lows and ups and downs. The reason we're here in South Africa is because in 1970, my very young parents at the time had opportunities to work in hotels in Australia, New Zealand and South Africa, and literally drew the rabbit out of the hat and chose South Africa. They arrived with one suitcase and myself, settled into an apartment in Pardon Island. That's where it pretty much began. My father started off as a receptionist at the Herengracht Hotel, which was a fabulous new hotel being launched in Cape Town. He worked very, very hard. I mean, at one stage he was carrying 3 jobs throughout the day. So working as shift as a receptionist, working as a waiter in the evenings, and then also working as a lecturer in marketing. So I think he was pretty well set up for success with that kind of approach. So he moved up through the ranks very quickly, and within 6 years he was appointed as the managing director of the hotel. My father used to do a lot of entertaining at his hotel, and he had a policy that said for every duty manager shift that he had to do, they had to invite a dignitary or a celebrity to come and have dinner with them at the hotel. As a result, he was entertaining 4 or 5 nights a week with my mum, and they couldn't really afford babysitters at that stage, so we used to tag along and doss under the table once our food was over. I am a humble person. And I think my roots are very much centered from, my early upbringing when, the parents really didn't have a lot of money and nothing was given to us on a plate, and we had to work. We had to pretty much work for everything that we got. At a young age, we started working at my father's hotels on weekends, carrying luggage, working as a bellboy, and those kind of things. And it was great because I had much more disposable income than my mates, and it was a great way to kind of start off my hotel career. I got issued a bellboy's uniform at the age of 6. I was about this big, and my first job was to press the buttons at the lift, and then it evolved into carrying luggage, and then it evolved into a whole lot of other positions as a waiter and helping in the print shop and so on and so forth. But that's where I used to hang out on weekends, and certainly the whole day on Saturday. I'll never forget clocking up 8 Rand in tips on one Saturday in 1978, and that was a hell of a lot of money in those days. Well, I studied here in South Africa, but I also had the privilege of studying at the best university academy in the world, at Cornell University in New York State. And that's where I was exposed to the concept of revenue management, which was being pioneered in those days by the airlines and hadn't necessarily been embraced by the hotel groups. And that was something that really interested me, and it's something that I've become reasonably good at today, and it's a huge thing in the way that we manage our hotels today. We traveled around exotic locations, we worked in hotels, worked in backpackers, and did all of the kind of irresponsible stuff that youngsters do when you travel overseas. While I was in the States, the Hyatt Group were on a recruitment drive for a new hotel in Johannesburg that they were opening up. And although I was tempted to go and carry on working in the States, I did want to get back, and it presented the perfect opportunity for me to get home and do a hotel opening, which I'd never done before. And yeah, for me, this was the start of several consecutive hotel openings, which, again, I was really blessed with because of the kind of things that one learns when you open a business from scratch. The managing director of Protea Hotels approached me while I was at the Hyatt and shared this vision of this amazing hotel concept that he wanted to pioneer in Cape Town, and this was Arthur Gillis. The whole concept of turning the industry on its head, turning those norms that you see in hotels around the world, reversing those norms and trying something totally different was something very appealing to me. So I joined up with the opening team of the Victoria Junction Hotel, and there we turned every single norm on its head. And that was the steepest learning curve I've certainly ever had in my career. After Victoria Junction, I had the opportunity of turning around a number of hotels. And that's something I really enjoyed because just to be given the latitude to go in and take the necessary steps to turn these businesses around was something that was very, very satisfying to me. Fortunately, I had the knack of being able to see pretty quickly what the problems were with these hotels. And 9 times out of 10, it was either a combination of financial mismanagement or lack of marketing, and taking those two areas and working them until the turnaround took place. I decided to take a clean break from the industry and look for a parallel kind of tourism-related industry that I could get stuck into. And the opportunity at Avis came up in Johannesburg, so I did a geographical up to Joburg and spent 5 years up there working for them, which was a fantastic experience. It led me to really appreciate what I'd left, but I also developed a whole bunch of other skills, which were really important in a similar field. A whole lot of commercial skills that I have today that I wouldn't have ordinarily obtained. Towards, I think it was the 3rd or 4th year in Johannesburg, you know, we all know what kind of pace Joburg has. And unfortunately, you know, I succumbed to the pace of Joburg, and my relationship with my wife, my marriage with my wife was failing, and I made some pretty stupid decisions, as sometimes one does, and my life became very, very unmanageable. And I eventually realized that I needed to take control of my life. I rehabilitated myself, and it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, the best thing. It gave me the opportunity to start again. It gave me the opportunity to really have a look at the kind of person I was, and it gave me the opportunity to follow my dreams. And that clean break, the year and a half off that I took, gave me the opportunity to really rebuild my life and follow my dreams. And if it wasn't for that, I would not be here today. I moved back to Cape Town. I took a pretty low-key job back in the hotel business. That job gave me the opportunity to travel around and reacquaint myself with the hotel business, because I'd been out of it for a few years. And it gave me stability more than anything else. It also gave me the opportunity and time to look around for a hotel project to get my teeth into, which I did very, very aggressively. I looked all over the country at hotel opportunities, hotels to buy or lease or fix up. And I was very blessed with the opportunity that came up at my first hotel that I bought here in Durbanville, Cape Town. Many of the other hotel groups had looked at this particular hotel but weren't able to unpack the value, and it was difficult, so they walked away. And at that stage, I was very keen and really rabidly following this concept of buying my first hotel. And that resilience that led me to be able to conclude this deal, unpack all the difficulty and sideline all the difficulty and move in and really get the full value of what this place is. And it's flown ever since then. It cost a lot of money to fix it up. It was in liquidation. I bought it off auction. But the one thing that I realized is that from a location point of view, it was absolutely perfect, because around the corner from the property were 4 of the biggest mega insurance companies on this planet, in fact. And around the corner from the hotel was an office park housing 300 blue chip companies, literally on the doorstep of the hotel. And based on those imperatives, that helped me cement the idea that this hotel was going to fly, which it has from the very first day. I always knew that the first hotel that we would buy, or that I would buy, had to be the flagship hotel for the hotel group that I wanted to establish. It would have to be a place where the service levels were impeccable, where the furniture and the fittings were great, where the customer experience was really going to be a good one, and then obviously that the bottom line would deliver, because I knew that at some point we'd have to showcase or be able to replicate what we did here at this hotel. We needed to be in a position to replicate those successes with other people's hotels, to invite hoteliers or hotel owners, investors, the banks, financiers, to be able to come to this hotel and for me to say to them, listen, we can replicate these successes. Look at the margins that we're creating here. Look at the bottom line that I'm creating. We can do this with your hotel. We try to keep the bar very high throughout so that we've got this hotel to be able to showcase to the hotel community. Quite simply, we need to behave like the big boys. Okay? Even though we're small fry, we need to behave like the big guys. We've got to have a big company approach to going out there and finding new business. So this means that we're competing directly with the other big hotel players in this country looking for new opportunities. We need to be out there amongst the property development community so that if there is a property being built, that we at least put on the table the fact that why not put a hotel as an annexure to that shopping center? So we're chasing the same opportunities as the big boys, which is very, very stressful because we've obviously got far fewer resources than the big boys have. So it involves a lot of my personal time. That's what I mostly do in my working day, is look for the new opportunities out there all over Africa. And that's a big sacrifice that I'm making at the moment.
Nedbank is proud to vote Small Business. For updates on more Simply Biz seminars, go to simplybiz.co.za. Make things happen. Nedbank.